Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Dandavat Pranam, welcome. Good morning to another edition of Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita. Today we are very happy to have the association of His Grace Gaurachandra Gopinath Prabhu. He'll be sharing Prabhupada Leelamrita chapter 36 in every town and village. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please start.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. My humble obeisances to all the devotees seeking their blessing. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamagyam Tadati Swapatantikam Vandegam Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Deshadarine Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pratayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudhe Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate krim Yatkripa tamahu mande Shri Guru Deenadarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram Hare Om Vishnupada. Hare Krishna. I'm really happy and I'm purified today talking Prabhupada Katha. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Kindly bless me so that I will be able to share some of the nectar from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. Just give me a second. Let me adjust the controls. You are able to see the PPT, Prabhu?
Yes, I can see it, Prabhu.
Okay. Today we are going to read from chapter 36 in every town and village. And the topic theme of this entire presentation will be two themes actually. The predominant theme will be books are the basis. The second theme is that how Srila Prabhupada is the Satyavesha avatar explained in the Shastras. So references from Shastras establishing him as the Acharya. So these are the two predominant themes which we are going to look at it. And uh, so this is Maharaj writes that the Krishna conscious movement was already complete, and now, by the will of its author, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this completeness was becoming manifest. As Krishna desired, he would continue to travel and to send his devotees and his books, his message until he reached every town and village of the world. So we can see from today's Leelamrita how Prabhupada, the books made a vital role, how he was insisting that this needs to be spread across. I remember there is one pastime of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was just visiting Africa. He never been to all the places. He was just there for 5 weeks. One time he was just going and he thought there is a school, let me stop by and preach. And as Prabhupada stopped his car, and there is one person from the school started running towards Prabhupada, and he was paid complete dandavats obeisances to Prabhupada. And people were surprised to know we never come to this place or we not started it preaching. How come there is a devotee? And he was wearing Kantimala. He was a school headmaster. And suddenly there is one more Mataji was also running, his wife. Both of them wearing Kanti and they were paid obeisances. And Prabhupada asked, do you know me? Then they said we were traveling to America or somewhere abroad. Then we got in contact with the books. So we have not seen you, we have not seen the devotees, but we are inspired by your books and we become a devotee. And most of us agree that 99% of all of us, like we came to Krishna consciousness through Prabhupada books. So we're going to see from this episode why Prabhupada is insisting on his books and what was his instruction. So with the introduction, let me start. So this is 1971. We are in the month of August and September. This is a small agenda which I am going to cover today. August 1st to 2nd, he was in New York. On 3rd, he has traveled to London and he stayed till September 10th. Prabhupada stayed till September 10th from August 3rd to 10th. And we will be seeing this episode. In that London episode, Prabhupada is fallen ill, very, very sick. And there is no sunlight. It was raining. He was writing to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Then we see the episode of Prabhupada chastising Sam Sundar Prabhu for not printing books, why books are important, which I've introduced earlier. Then he also analyzes the various Western philosophers, European philosophers, Socrates, and things like that. Every day he would take some summary of their philosophy, and he would try to provide the insight of Krishna consciousness in that, or he would present his viewpoint from Krishna consciousness. Then he celebrated his Vyasa Puja. Then he encountered a kind of a death. He collapsed in London, and somehow miraculously how Prabhupada revives, that we will see. Then there is an introduction given from London. Prabhupada meets one gentleman, Indian gentleman, who he requested Prabhupada to go to Mombasa in Africa because that climate is very hot and sunny, so that he can recover. So Prabhupada already had sent his disciple, His Holiness Brahmananda Maharaj, and we will see his little background about how he ended up in Africa. Introduction, how KC spread in Africa. That's a part, little bit introduction is given. Then Prabhupada travels on September 11th, and he was there till end of month September in Nairobi and Mombasa. These are the two places Prabhupada predominantly preached. Then we will see how Prabhupada was recovering. Second, we will see how Prabhupada lived like a sadhu. Every 2 days once he would change his place. the guest, he didn't have a proper place to sit. Prabhupada, how he was changing it and how he made focus on the preaching from Indians to African. Generally, when preaching goes there, preachers they would look at to Indians because they used to it Mahaprabhu and things like that. But Prabhupada shifted his preaching to Indians to Africans, and there are a lot of TV show interview happens, and there is a kirtan like Tomskin Park. They had a kirtan, big successful. So we will see what is his preaching activity. And end of October 18th, Prabhupada returns to India. That will be in the next chapter. So this is the high level what I'm going to cover in this sequence of the year happened. So the first one is on London, August 1971, is books. So Prabhupada fell sick, and 14th he writes to Tamal Krishna Maharaj saying there is no sunlight. It has been very difficult time. I've been sick. I'm not well. So he writes to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Um, so he said, I don't want to travel because I'm old. I want to give up this responsibility, but there is no man whom I can trust. They can push this. So I have to travel like that. Prabhupada mentions Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Then he turns to Sham Sundar Prabhu. He said, where are the books? Why there is no stock of books? What your godbrothers are doing kind of thing. Then Sham Sundar Prabhu was fumbling and trying to explain. And then Prabhupada said, why we should have a book trust if they are not doing their job? Why there is no stock of big books like Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavatam, Krishna book? Why this was not there? And also there was a due, unbridged Bhagavad Gita was supposed to be printed from Japan printers. So that was also not happening. Then Prabhupada was really upset, and he was chastising like Sham Sundar Prabhu like anything. And he was trying to say, no, Prabhupada, they are all occupied, something like that. Then Prabhupada was heavy on them, saying that, what is the purpose of this GBC? Then he defines the role of GPC. The three main objective of Prabhupada says that GPC should do is ensure that there is enough stock of books, publish BTGs, and ensure that devotional life in the temple is uplifted or there is no interruption to devotional life in temple. So if these three things are taken care, rest of the things will be automatically taken care. Then he said it is your responsibility to write to them, ensure that it is got it done. And so basically why Prabhupada was furious is that he has written volumes of book. Number one, he gave them to translate into all the European languages. That was not done. Then there is a big set of volume of Bhagavatam 10 that is not proofread and it is not yet printed yet. And on top of it, there is no stock of books. So this all made Prabhupada furious about what's happening, and he's telling Sham Sundar Prabhu, it's your responsibility. You are my secretary now. It is your duty to take care of it. And he is chastising the entire secretaries around all over the world, GPCs, the PBT trust, but he just doing through Sham Sundar Prabhu. So then Prabhupada emphasized the book, why it is important. Then he says that, I want to Krishna conscious to all the education circles, all the philosophies, they would come. If we don't have book, how do we sufficiently preach to them? They don't have books means how do we preach to the educated class? That's one argument. The second argument Prabhupada said is that, let me die as a warrior. If I have to die, the people are very lazy. Like Arjuna fought in the battlefield, even though he failed in battlefield, he would have gone to the glorious position. So Prabhupada said, I want to die like that in the preaching field. When that's why I'm taking a risk. I will be more happy to die in the battlefield than not doing it. I see I'm an old man. I do so much activity. Why don't you take inspiration, all this BPT man, and print this? And like this, he was trying to compare and give motivation and chastising to the people. And he said, even one person can read and understood, they'll become devotees. I was giving the example how Prabhupada never went to a place in Africa. He just started preaching, but there are already devotees. So they just because they have read the books, then Prabhupada emphasizing how this is important that even one book goes to one place, how it can turn around things like that. And also Prabhupada was not happy in the reason that there are some devotees who would write to Prabhupada asking, such a God Brothers book you have written, or previous Acharya's book is there. Why can't we read those? Is that bona fide? Then Prabhupada said, "You're not even read my books completely. You're not even proofread. You're not even printing any books. I've been writing volumes. You asked me to retire. Prabhupada, please retire and translate. We will take care of the thing. What is the use of me writing volumes? You are not even going to read it." And on top of it, the devotee is asking, saying that this book is authorized or not. So Prabhupada was really not happy. Then this how the chasta is happening, but still Prabhupada continued to. We see in this episode that in the night Prabhupada still start translating his books. He never gave up. He would sleep for 2 hours and get up and do the translation of the books. Prabhupada knew that these books going to be the another 10,000 years when ISKCON will spread or the Krishna conscious movement will spread. That's only basis of book, nothing else. So then there is a call from Advaita manager from ISKCON Press from US. Then he said he made some arrangement with the Japan, Thai, Nippon, where they sent a major 5 volumes of books to be printed, Bhagavatam and other things they proofread, and also they have translated Ishopanishad German language, which is already shipped. So Prabhupada was relieved and really he was happy to hear this, that there is some work is going on. So this is just to give a glimpse of what Prabhupada has done. As I found it in one of the devotees compiling it, it's just simple, straightforward, with the number of pages, and if you read one pages, how long it will take, a simple mathematics. So between this 1968 and 1977, he wrote closer to 22,000 pages of text. He written 147 volumes of book, uh, and he has written Srimad Bhagavatam, 18,000 verses. Of course, the later part of it, chapter 12, Bhagavatam, after 10th canto, made Prabhupada passed away and his disciple carried out. But if you read 1 verses per day also, it's going to take another 49 years to complete Srila Prabhupada books. I'm in already mid 40s. And if I start also, I don't know, I wouldn't be completing if I read one sloka per day. Then there are 700 verses of Gita. It takes about 2 years to read if you read one verses per day. Then Chaitanya Charitamrita, he written 11,555 verses and 2,170 pages. It would take about 31 years if you read one verses, or if you read one page, it's going to take another 5.9 years to read. He wrote 7,000 letters that is compiled into 5 volumes. Sikshamrita, SP Srila Prabhupada lectures in 11 volumes of books. So much lectures Prabhupada was given. Every day we see this travel, this America, probably, I don't know, in the 30, 40 days, he would have given more than 40, 50 lectures, Prabhupada. So he never stopped preaching. He never stopped giving lectures. There are 42 conversations, interviews, and this one. If you read one book, also it would take 13 years to complete all Srila Prabhupada books. That's a voluminous Prabhupada has given, and I don't know how to thank him. He just not did write books, but he traveled. There was a lot of pressing needs to preach. His health is problem. He's traveling all over the globe. Is managing the temple. Is still writing peacefully all this literature. I know we can imagine this is not something ordinary person can do that. So, and also what's happening with London is that this daily activity of Prabhupada is that he would ask Sam Sundar, please go and get some synopsis of all the great Western philosophers. Tell me what is their philosophy. Then Prabhupada would give his purport or his view on those philosophies, right or wrong, and he would provide Krishna conscious understanding of this. This was his activity. Because it was very cold, Prabhupada was doing few preaching, but predominantly he was engaging his disciple. So this is the incident where Prabhupada just recovered. Almost he went to deathbed and he came back. So one time Sham Sundar was sleeping and there was a Prabhupada calling and urgently calling Sham Sundar. So Sham Sundar was sleeping on the bunk bed and he just suddenly got up and ran to Prabhupada's room. Then he saw in the doorway Prabhupada collapsed. And he just lifted him, and Prabhupada is very gray, and he just put him on the bed and he turned on the heater and blanket, but still Prabhupada shivering, is not opening his eyes. Sham Sundar don't know what to do. Then Prabhupada said, go and get me some black pepper paste. And he also told him how to do that and rub it on my forehead. So Shamsundar ran to kitchen and he made the paste and he applied it. But still, Prabhupada was not responding. It was midnight, and he didn't know what to do. And later, few hours later, Prabhupada signaled him he can go. But Shamsundar was sleeping there only and trying to see Prabhupada is recovering, because he's not able to even speak. He was not able to open his eyes, and it was morning till 8 or 9. Shamsundar was stayed there. Prabhupada was trying to take rest. Then Shamsundar Prabhu was telling, this is not something physical, even something happened, he felt, but he's almost lost, he kind of, he almost went to the deathbed and came back. And next day, the important thing to notice that Prabhupada this next day got up as if nothing has happened. And he started doing his preaching activity and things like that. This is something phenomenal. Prabhupada would never, there's nothing can stop him. And if somebody would have been that situation, he just almost fainted and almost conscious was not there. Next day they tried to take rest, but Prabhupada was not like that. He just got up at 11 and as if nothing happened, he continued his mission. So before going to Prabhupada, traveling to Nairobi on September 9th, we end the the London session here. And I just want to give a brief background about how this Hare Krishna movement started in Africa. Then we will see how Prabhupada was traveling to Africa. So this is His Holiness Brahmananda Swami. So this amazing story, pastime of how this Krishna conscious movement started in Africa. So he was in Florida. Then Prabhupada wrote a letter to him saying that I want you to go to Pakistan and preach. And he and his brother Gargamuni, both of them are brothers, and they said, you go and preach in there. And they didn't have much money. They were just trying to work in the college, trying to preach something. That was he was doing it. And they didn't even have money to go to Pakistan. But they thought, oh, this is Guru's order. We have to go. And they immediately traveled to New York. From New York to London, he traveled by flight. Then through rail, he went to Paris. So through Paris, he went to Turkey. So now what is happening is that when they travel like this, they would preach all the places. It's not that just they keep traveling it. They stay in Paris for 2 days, then they get visa for the next country, or they find the train or bus. How do they go? Because they can't afford to do all this travel. For the London, somehow they made some money arrangement and they came to Paris. Then they met some devotees there, or they to go to the college. Then they preach like that. And he got a train and towards Turkey, was going from Paris, crossing all these Alps and Italy. They cross that country and they go to Turkey. They didn't know that they can't have public kirtan. So everywhere they're going, the activity is that they go and do a Nagar Kirtan or talk to the college, do some preaching program, and they move on 1 or 2 days, stay there and move on to the next destination till they go to Lahore. So they didn't know that the Christianity movement is preaching in Christianity is prohibited in Turkey. So they didn't know. Then he went and started doing Harinam Sankirtan in the public, and the police disguised in the public, and they caught hold of them. They confiscated their passport, and they arrested him, put him into jail. And they never allowed him to speak to the counterpart US consulate in US, because at least they talked to them, the US consulate will do something. And they never allowed them to do that, and they don't know English. Now they confiscated all the books, and they're not allowed to do anything, and they don't know what to do. And then somehow he arranged, somehow he met the professor, one of the professor there in Turkey. Then he understands English and he appreciated this movement and he explained this situation. Then he gave a favorable recommendation, and they allowed them to move. And also meanwhile they contacted US embassy. Somehow then later they convinced and let them go, but still they were not give the books. So Brahmananda Maharaj says that he demanded that I need the book, because book are the basis. Without book, how do I go and preach? So he took that, and somehow then after that he traveled to Tehran, Mashhad, Afghanistan. Then he goes to Kabul and Lahore. Now this is a wonderful event. Look at this. By the time he went to the Lahore, Prabhupada came to know that there is India and Pakistan war has been going to happen, and people are already started preparing for it. And he wants to reach out them to come back. How do Prabhupada was so anxious. Now these brothers, they went to Punjab University and they started preaching. And the Muslims were started telling, you are come here to missionary, you are trying to convince us, convert us. They started all talking ill names and things like that. Then he explained them. Nectar of Devotion is written by Rupa Goswami, one of the Muslim government. So, I mean, one of the governor in Muslim, and he written this, and he's trying to explain like that. So they're all listen, but somehow they're not happy. The students started spitting on their face, rubbing their forehead, the tilaks, and they also said, threatened them. If you even never walk open street publicly like this, you will be stabbed. Better you run away from here. In fact, they've been caught by a military, and they put gun on their head, and they started simply chanting Hare Krishna. They look at their life. Prabhupada's disciples just gave their life for the guru, this guru's instruction. They're ready to give up their life. Somehow the people army men said, you just run away from this place, and they just catch hold of a train, and immediately they came to Bombay, and they didn't know that Prabhupada was there, and they met Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was so happy seeing Brahmananda, you come back. He was repeatedly hugging him, saying that I was really worried about both of you, Gargamuni and you, and I was really praying to Krishna like that. And Prabhupada was so emotional, and Brahmananda felt very insignificant how Prabhupada was hugging him and doing that. That's where he gave instruction. Please go to Africa and preach. That's where I want you to see. Already spread in 3 continents, Europe, America, Canada, and like that. And he want to now move on to 4th continent, where I think Russia before that is, and then now he want to go to Africa. Then Brahmananda travels by ship. Then he remembers he traveled with the $20. He remembers how Prabhupada would have been travel. He got the same sick of the travel and the ocean. There is no proper food. They are not cooking in uncleaned places. So he was thinking how Prabhupada would have been cooking on his Jaladuta, and he's been managing it. And he was just, he wanted to run out of this place because, it was not a easy journey that time to by ship. Then as soon as he reached Mombasa, there's a big problem is that his immigration was failed. He told them you have to go back. The reason because he did not had first class return ticket to. He should have first class return ticket. Those who come to Africa, that is the immigration rule. He didn't have any money. There is one guy who came. He said, "I will try to arrange. I'll talk to the Indian Mumbai office. Then try to get a first class ticket." Then he took the $20 whatever he had. Then somehow they contacted Mumbai, waited for 3 days in the dock only. Then, but Mumbai also somehow struggled, and they sent the third class ticket. Still, the immigration was not agreeing that they will not allow them to go. They have to either produce this first class return ticket or they have to go back to India. So he thought its mission is failed. He has to go back. Then suddenly the shipping company itself agreed to produce a first class ticket so that they can pay later. Now all this $20 what he had also he given off to that other fellow. He didn't know what to do. Luckily there was one Indian. They're all watching all these 3 days what's happening. Then he took him to Mombasa, one of the Shiva temple. So then that's where they've been staying here. Then started their preaching. Like this is a small brief introduction of how this movement started, and this was the initial stages of Brahmananda going and checking it. Now this Indian gentleman from Pandya, this Indian gentleman met Prabhupada in London. He told him go to this is his own flat he had overseeing the big ocean that will recover. So Prabhupada went to this Nairobi first, and from there he went to that place Mombasa. So then as soon as he arrived in the airport, Kulbhushna, there is a journalist, he was asking, are you going to preach to only Hindu communities? What is your message? Then Prabhupada was telling, no, it was for everyone. I'm going to preach this Krishna conscious movement. There is no caste and creed. So then Prabhupada moves on to after few days recovery, he goes to Nairobi, September 18. This is the place the majority of the things are happening. So Prabhupada is to stay 2 or 3 days in a particular house. He doesn't want to continue there. He keep on moving, and everybody is so friendly that Prabhupada is able to get along with the family members, and Prabhupada was showing how it can be preached. So the Nairobi September 18th, the started preaching of local happening is that they were staying initially when Brahmananda came, he was staying in Radha Krishna temple or Shiva temple, I don't remember. In one of the temple, Hindus allowed them to stay because they are sannyasis. One day Prabhupada told them, you open the door, because it was only restricted to Hindu community. He said, open the door, you started doing kirtan. And Brahmananda was not sure. Then he said, go ahead. As soon as they opened the door, started kirtan, all the locals started coming, appreciating it. But this local Hindus, they were at apprehension, saying that what will happen. But they saw Prabhupada compassion, and they were so happy that they opened, and that's how the Prabhupada first program started opening up to the locals. Then there is a Kamkunj Park, the largest tree under like Tompkins Square Park. The people started doing first outdoor kirtan, and Prabhupada gave a lecture in the University of Nairobi. It's all very successful, and a lot of people started coming. And Prabhupada would speak in English, then they would translate in local languages. All the local people, they were really happy to see Prabhupada mission, and he was requesting them to spread this movement, give us a place, we want to set up a temple first, like that. And there was one TV show happened, and there is the interviewer saw Chaitanya photo. He asked, who is he? Then Prabhupada said, he is God. Then he said, no, he's a human being. Then Prabhupada said, why God cannot be a human being like that? And he was appealing to all the educated people in Africa, saying it is Krishna consciousness not only for Hindus, it is a Sankirtan movement. I was explaining the Sanatan Dharma. So it is not poor, black, white. This cannot serve God. Everyone we treat equally, Americans and things like that. And then a lot of people like the prasadam. They use their mode of operandi is that do kirtan, give prasadam, and do a small talk. And Prabhupada was really happy. And then a lot of people came. So Prabhupada was telling to his disciple, motivating them, what is samadhi? This is very, very important chapter of this realization. Prabhupada says that, some people, samadhi means they go retire, do japa in isolation. It is not that. You have to travel, you have to preach, distribute book, sankirtan, chanting in the street. This is samadhi. Now we have to do our work. We can later retire for samadhi. So Prabhupada has emphasized his work, and he says that High Court Judge Court, when he wears tilaka, that will be successful. This was told by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We should preach such a way that the entire world should convert it into devotees, and the high-class devotee High Court judge would be wearing tilak, and that is the time this will be successful. And first work, then later samadhi. So Prabhupada is emphasizing on the samadhi. Now, another 15 minutes, what we would focus is that how Prabhupada is an empowered incarnation of the Lord, which is explained in this chapter. So, after preaching the late night preaching marathon, he asked for food, and Prabhupada remarked, I'm really hungry. Keep me talking, doing a lot of programs. When he's angry, he wants to preach. That's my life. Don't let me stop talking, and I need to do that. So we can see from this, episode, like previous episode, that Srila Prabhupada activities show he was empowered by Krishna. This is evident from his childhood. At the age of 5, he held Ratha Yatra festival, and certainly evident from this year 68 to 71. Amazing. He actively expanded his Krishna conscious movement in 4 continents. Prabhupada mentioned that ISKCON is Varaha incarnation. They just first began to be no bigger than a thumb. Then they had quickly expanded to half the size of this universe. So that's Varaha movement our Prabhupada is explaining. So we can see that ISKCON's rapid growth. This is a person who can empowered only can do it. So there is a wonderful verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 7.11. Kali kalera dharma Krishna nama sankirtana Krishna sakti vina nahe tara pravatana. The fundamental religious system in the age of Kali is the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. Unless empowered by Krishna, one cannot propagate the Sankirtan movement. Now we know we are going to celebrate 125th anniversary of Prabhupada. Now there are a lot of eminent people from various institutions, politicians, they're all praise Prabhupada. That's okay, which is nice. And they release trying to make a curriculum in the CBSE syllabus. They're trying to print coins, which are good. But what about the Shastric evidence? Because ISKCON means Guru Shadhu Shastra. We don't accept any pramana without Shastra. Now I'm going to show you a couple of quotation proofs from Shastra that Prabhupada is none other than he is the empowered incarnation. It is already predicted in the Shastras. So another couple of slides I'll be doing it. After that, I will wind up for more realization. Here Sasarup Maharaj writes that he is a Shaktavesha avatar and he fulfills the prediction of the scriptures. Prithvi Prithvite Cheyata Nagaradi Grama Sarvatra Prachara Haibe Mora Nama. This comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, various places. Madhya Leela as well, 25th to 64. Then Mahaprabhu gave 2 instructions to us. Bharata Janma, he says that those who are born in India, they have to preach. That's the first instruction. The second instruction is this Prithviyache Yetana Agaradigrama. He predicted that in the town and villages all over the world, Sankirtana movement will spread. So in the town and village, some devotees thought it is only India, but here it is all over the world. So that prediction came to only through Prabhupada. So we know that this Mahaprabhu's prediction that is only done by Srila Prabhupada, number one. Then we can see that Prabhupada is an incarnation of, or here Maharaj writes, manifestation of Lord Nityananda. Satyavesha avatars means we know that a person who is empowered, like Narada, Prithu Maharaj, and various Kumaras, they are all the empowered incarnation for various things. Vyasadeva for literary incarnation. But here Maharaj writes that it's the Lord manifestation of Lord Nityananda. According to Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, the Lord Krishna himself manifested in the souls of ordinary men through Lord Nityananda. The individual soul requires the help of God to realize God. The help comes from causeless mercy of Lord Nityananda, who therefore known as original Guru. One is that the Nityananda represent Guru. Second thing is compassionate. He went to door to preach, and he went to the people of the drunkard, Jagai and Madai, most sinful. You see Prabhupada's life history. He also went to US, the most abominable place in the world, most degraded place, Bauri, and he started preaching. So Prabhupada also approached a lot of Jagai and Madai in that sense to deliver them. So this mode of Nityananda is that he want to go door to door and beg them, preach, and that's what Prabhupada exactly did. And that's where Maharaj writes that without anybody's possessing Krishna Sakti, they cannot do it. These are some more quotations I collected. So this is a wonderful prediction in Tiruvaimuli by in the Nalayara Divya Brahmanda by Nammal Alvar. Out of all the Alvars, Nammalvar is considered to be the topmost. He says, Poliga Poliga, போயிற்று வள்ளியோர் சாபம் நலியும் நகரமும் நைந்த நமனுக்கு இங்கு யாதொன்றும் இல்லை கலியும் கண்டு கொன்மின் கடல்வண்ணன் பூதங்கள் மண்மேல் மலிய புகுந்து இசைப்பாடி ஆடி ஒளி தர கண்டோம். He says that victory, behold something wonderful. All the inauspicious of the living entity is destroyed. No one is going to hell. Yamaraj has no more work, and the effects of Kali Yuga cease to exist. This is because all over the world an increasing number of Lord Vishnu's devotees singing his names while dancing and playing musical instrument. Look at this prediction. This was done, I don't know, in the 7th or 8th centuries, or maybe around that time. And the Nammalvar has predicted this spread is in the Kali Yuga, the Nama Sankirtan will spread all over the world. So that's only one Acharya who did that. There's nobody can claim that anybody is spreading this Krishna consciousness. That's Prabhupada. The one more example from Padma Purana. This is Bhakti Devi herself speaks. Idam sthanam parityaja videsham gamyate maya. So she says that she was traveling all over the India. Then finally she went to Vrindavan. Then she's speaking to Narada Rishi. I'm going to leave this place. I will go abroad. This was the statement. This is then in Bhagavata Mahatmya in Uttarakhanda. So this she says that I will be traveling. Bhakti alone cannot travel. Some devotee needs to carry. Bhakti spreads only through a bhakta. It cannot on her own manifest. Oh, of course she is her. I mean, there is no condition why it should manifest, but generally the devotee, only the bhakti can travel or spread through another bhakta. There is no other way the bhakti can spread. Now there are a few more examples. There is all the when Krishna is winding up his pastime, and all the rivers, they were started praying to Lord. And Bahirati Vacha, He Nata Ramana Shrishayayasi Golokam Uttamam Asmakam Ka Gatis Chatra Bhavishyasi Kalau Yuge. She's telling what will happen to the Kali Yuga. You're going back. What is our situation? Then Krishna says, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Kale Pancha Sagasrani Bashani Tista Bhutale Papani Papinyo Yatani Tubhyam Dashyanti Snanataha. She says that sinful people will come and they will deposit all their sins. You have to live in the earth for another 5,000 years. We are in the golden period. We should make opportunity. After a few years, next life, we don't know. This rivers will exist or not. Already most of them are going. So this is our fortunate that we can go and see these holy places and holy rivers. This all will go after some time. They will unmanifest. So then he says that man mantro pashaka sparshat bhasmi bhutani tatshanat bhavishyanti darshana shasanat eva hi janvi. So he says there will be devotees who will be worshipping my mantra, and merely by their touch all the sins will be immediately burnt. This is the conversation happening, and Krishna himself told that there will be devotees who will be coming. That's only Prabhupada able to make this pure Vaishnavas. Then there is another quotation, two more quotation I will read. Then Chaitanya Bhagavat Antilila, it is says, Prithvi Pariyantayata Ache Desha Grama Sarvatra Sanchara Haibe Mora Nama. Every town and village of the world, my chanting of the name will be heard. This is one prediction. Then another prediction, this is the most important prediction, is written by Lochandas Thakur in Chaitanya Mangal in Sutra Kanda. Ebe nama sankirtana tikshana kanda ke laya antara shura jivera pabe katiya yadi papi chadi dharma dure desha yaya more senadipati bhakta aibe tataya. So in this says the sword in the Kali Yuga, using the Sankirtan sword, the Antara Ashura Jivera, our mentality of Asuric will be destroyed. Then this Dure Deshe Yaya, in all over the world, Mora Senabadi Bhakta. So he says the prediction is that my Senabadi Bhakta will come. That is none other than Srila Prabhupada. So all this prediction shows that Prabhupada is not an ordinary person. He's already been predicted to do this seva. And so that's why Maharaj writes more elaboration on his Saktya avatar. So from this episode, we understand that there are two things Prabhupada emphasize on the book, how it is very important for him to spread this movement to sustain, and it's all our responsibility to read at least one verses per day of Srila Prabhupada books. I don't know, we may not be able to read the complete literature. If we have to literature, I don't know how many births we have to take. But Prabhupada has just done it in 10 years, 11 years, without struggling so much, sacrificing his health, even though he was, almost going to the deathbed. We never stopped in a single day translating books. That's because for us. And this Kali Yuga, another golden years will survive only because of his books, nothing else. The second thing, we have on the 125th years of anniversary, we have evidences from this Leela Amrita and other places that Prabhupada is empowered incarnation of Shakti Veshavata. There is no doubt. This I would stop here, and for any comments or realization or more reflection.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful narration and befitting glorification of Prabhupada. Especially the slide on Srila Prabhupada's literary contribution. That's amazing what he has done for all of us. And keeping in tune that what he has done in a mega scale, we also have a mega outreach coming up. So would you please talk about a few things about that and request devotees to do the public, like the sharing that across their family or friends so that maximum people will get benefited?
Can I just make a small information? I mean, what is that? Share some thought which has come.
Yes, bro.
This is with the father of our Gaur Chandra Gopinath. Today he brought Nammalvar into picture. The moment he talked about Nammalvar, I remembered his own father. He used to come and tell me every time, Prabhu, I have finished 106 Divya Kshetra, only 2 are left. I think now he has completed those 2 also. Must be seeing from top. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, so Prabhu, Gaurchandra Gopinath Prabhu, can you just make that announcement around the mega outreach also? I know probably it would have been done yesterday, but since you have brought in the right context in terms of the books and reaching every town and village, request devotees to share the pamphlet across so that maximum devotees or people can reach.
Okay, Hare Krishna. On behalf of ICC, we are trying to outreach this 6 days Bhagavad Gita in a shortened version of Bhagavad Gita, the 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita. We want to reach out as much as possible. Sundarasham Sham and other circle servant leaders and all of them putting a lot of effort. And we are doing it 8 languages: Tulu, Konkani, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, English, Hindi, all South Indian languages plus English and Hindi. And this will be all the PPTs were presented, all the PPTs are being prepared on the particular local languages. We have a people. It's a very wonderful initiative. We want more people to reach to ICC South ISKCON Bangalore. So what we want is that the important thing is that you go and like the pages in our Facebook. That's very, very important, and comment it. Send this Facebook link to other people to register. It is completely free. And this event will start on 17th from this 17th Saturday for Thursday till Thursday 22nd, 6 days program. So kindly please register more people and make this event very successful. This all in your hand. We can make the basic effort of creating this, but the outreach, reaching more people, you can put it in your first thing is WhatsApp status. WhatsApp status is the most reached. Just take the poster and put it in WhatsApp status. Second thing, you can post it in a Facebook, or you can reach to any Tamil society, Sangam, or any other community, local languages speaking community. Just post them and ask them to register. And as soon as they register, they will be in the WhatsApp group. Then we will take care of them. We want to reach as much as possible in thousands. So we need your prayers as well as help. It can happen only by you supporting it, liking the page, promoting it. Without your individual contribution, this is not going to be, it's all in your hands to help us to spread this movement.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
Prabhu,
I'll try to pull the poster. You can, any other announcement you can take.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. It was nice to kind of hear it from you, so I had given it to you. So any devotees who would like to share any reflections or any questions, please ask Prabhuji.
Reflections, please. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Gaur Chandra Gopinath Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Nanas
Thank you,
Pranam.
Prabhuji. It was very nice one, especially the journey of Brahmananda Prabhu from Europe to Pakistan. And then again to Nairobi. It's really, bringing goosebumps. Really amazing, Prabhuji. How, daringly they undertook the journey. They had nothing in their hand except the blessings and instructions of Srila Prabhupada. How they landed in Iran, Turkey. My God, unimaginable, Prabhuji, really unimaginable.
You have to read his life history. I was reading and I was touched. The dedication, what they had, my God. Okay, I'm just presenting all of you the poster so that some of you have not seen it. You can see it now. It starts on 17 July. And we have a lot of video promotions as well happening. It's 7 to 8:30 p.m. every day going to happen. And it's all in languages which we have. What they just need to do is go to our webpage, isconsouthbangalore.com. There's a registration button. Just they click it. Rest of things we will take care. That's all you need to do. Just post this handle, ask everybody to join. If not, you can reach one of us so that we can also get them registered if there are any issues. This is the poster, and promo videos also there, which I will probably post it later. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Satchidananda Govindas.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
So, the poster we need in a different language so that we can post a different group. There's a Tamil group, Kannada group are there. Sometimes they don't want to read English.
Okay. We will try to do that, Prabhu. Thanks for the input. We will do that.
So we have only 1 week.
Yeah. We'll do that, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Devotees have expressed their appreciation of the class in the chat window also, Prabhu. Any other devotees would like to share any few reflections? We have some time.
It's wonderful, Prabhu, as it has been quoting. It's a Saktavesh Avatara, so he could do wonderful things. Like many times, our group leader he tells us to do this small translation or do PPT. You know, we take our own sweet time to do, and we do it, but it's not in that way. When we listen to Prabhupada's Lilamrita, it gives a lot of inspiration. You know, we should take time off and we should do it. Really, we've been to these places. They're all very remote places. You know, the people are also different. I don't know how he traveled, how he did, especially in Zimbabwe and all that. You know, like when we go, they ask, give the jacket, give this, give the cap, this. They will be begging. You know, they'll be so poor. And how he went to all those places and he spread the Krishna consciousness, great, unimaginable, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Very
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Very nicely you have. The thing is, we have to go through your lecture once again.
Yeah. It's all there, Prabhupada recording. So I just presented it. So this is ISKCON South Bangalore, our website. You can just see it's very simple. Come here, register. This all button. It will register them in particular WhatsApp group, whatever language they wanted it. It's as simple as that. So I will also ask Sundarashram to send out links where we can handle, where we can promote it. If you like registered, that will give more mileage, more outreach. So this is the another thing which about this site.
Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu, I had one question. Can I ask now?
Yeah, please, bro, go ahead.
So this quote about 10,000 years of ISKCON, is it about ISKCON or Krishna, in general Mahaprabhu's
Mahaprabhu's movement? Mahaprabhu's movement, but you can see only ISKCON is predominantly representing and doing it. Of course, Gaudiya Vaishnavaism also there, but predominantly if you see it was, but it's more of a Chaitanya movement. Anybody can participate, and there is an effort. Always Prabhupada wanted everybody to converge and do all the Vaishnavas, integrate Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Still, some of the GPCs, Solna Maharaj and other people try to involve everyone. So that way, it's going to be all Vaishnavas spreading this. Because go ahead.
Sorry, where is the reference, Prabhu? Any reference like 10,000 years? Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's there, or which?
I need to find out, Prabhu. Okay. I need to find out. I don't have readily the.
Yeah, no issue. Sorry to interrupt. Earlier, you were saying something. I cut you off mistakenly. You were saying something about that?
No, nothing.
Okay.
I don't have the reference. I will find out, or somebody else in the call can give.
Murali Murari Prabhu has sent you a message in Tamil. I can't.
Yeah, I read it. Okay, if not, we will stop here.
We'll conclude, Prabhu. Vancha
kalpataru vesha kripa sindhu devacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo namo. Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Gaurachandra Gopinath Prabhu, again for your time. We'll meet again tomorrow. I'm concluding this session. Hare Krishna.